Get ready, because today we're revealing the top 6 super rare coins that could be worth a fortune. Some of these coins look completely normal, but collectors are paying thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars for the right ones. Stay with us till the end, because the number 3 coin might surprise you, and you might already have it in your pocket. Let's begin. Top 1. The 1984 Elizabeth I cent from Canada. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary small copper coin that many people once carried in their pockets. But under the right condition, and with the right characteristics, this simple coin has become one of the most valuable modern Canadian cents ever discussed in auction circles. The 1984 Canadian 1 cent features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. During that time, the design was created by Arnold Machin, showing a mature and elegant side profile of the Queen. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions Elizabeth II and Dea Regina, representing her title by the grace of God, Queen. On the reverse side, the coin displays the iconic maple leaves twig design, a symbol deeply connected with Canadian identity. The date 1984 appears clearly at the bottom, and importantly, this coin has no mint mark, which was standard for Canadian cents of that era struck in Ottawa. Now you might wonder, how can a 1984 1 cent coin become so valuable? The answer lies in condition, rarity within grade, and specific large date varieties that collectors search for. The large date variety shows thicker and slightly taller numerals in 1984 compared to other dies used that year. While millions of cents were produced in 1984, only a tiny fraction survive today in true uncirculated condition with strong luster and sharp details. This particular example we are discussing is graded in uncirculated condition, often described as mint state. Even though it is uncirculated, it shows very fine surface scratches. These scratches are usually light contact marks that happen during the minting and bagging process when coins hit against each other. They are not considered circulation damage, but minor mint-made marks. Despite these fine scratches, the coin retains original mint luster, full detail in the Queen's hair, and crisp maple leaves on the reverse. The copper surface of a high-grade 1984 cent can display a rich red color if preserved properly. Collectors pay a significant premium for coins that maintain their original red brilliance instead of turning brown over time. A fully red uncirculated large date, 1984, with strong eye appeal and minimal distractions, is extremely difficult to locate today. What truly drives the incredible value toward the $300,000 level in today's auction market is demand combined with top population rarity. In the highest certified grades, only a handful of examples may exist. When a coin becomes the finest known or tied for the finest known in a major grading registry, competitive collectors push prices to extraordinary heights. Registry collectors are willing to spend aggressively to secure the number 1 ranking set, and this competition can turn a simple 1 cent coin into a record-breaking treasure. Auction history has shown that modern coins in superb condition can outperform many older coins. When a rare grade 1984 large date 1 cent appears in a major auction, bidders analyze every detail: strike sharpness, color quality, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. If the coin stands out as exceptional, bidding can escalate rapidly. The psychological factor of owning the best-known example also adds to its premium. Another important factor is that Canada stopped producing the 1 cent coin in 2012, making earlier cents more nostalgic and collectible. As time passes, fewer high-quality examples survive. Many were spent, stored improperly, or damaged. That makes pristine, uncirculated coins even more desirable among serious collectors. For viewers watching right now, this story proves that even small change can become life-changing money under the right circumstances. It reminds us to carefully check old coin jars, inherited collections, and forgotten bankrolls. While not every 1984 Canadian cent is worth a fortune, identifying the large date variety in high uncirculated condition with strong red luster can place you in a completely different value category. In today's competitive auction market, a top-grade 1984 Elizabeth II Canadian 1-cent large date with no mint mark, preserved in uncirculated condition with only very fine mint-made scratches, can reach an estimated value of around $300,000 when it meets the highest registry standards. This incredible price reflects rarity in grade, collector demand, and outstanding preservation. Top 2. The 1968 Elizabeth II 1-cent from Canada. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary small copper coin that once passed through thousands of hands. But in rare circumstances, especially in high uncirculated condition with the large date variety, this simple 1-cent piece can reach extraordinary value in today's auction market. The 1968 Canadian 1-cent features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. During this period, the portrait was designed by Arnold Machin, showing a young and graceful image of the Queen wearing a tiara. Around the portrait are the inscriptions Elizabeth II and D.G. Regina, which stand for Dei Gratia Regina, meaning Queen by the grace of God. The reverse displays the traditional maple leaves twig design created by G. E. Kruger Gray, a design that had already become a strong national symbol of Canada. At the bottom of the reverse, you will clearly see the date 1968, and importantly, there is no mint mark, as Canadian cents of that era were struck without mint marks at the Royal Canadian Mint in Ottawa. The key detail that increases collector interest is the large date variety. In 1968, subtle differences in the size and thickness of the numerals can be observed. The large date version shows bolder and slightly taller numbers in 1968 compared to other die variations. While millions of 1968 cents were produced, very few survive in exceptional uncirculated condition, and even fewer display strong eye appeal with sharp strike and original surfaces. The example we are discussing is described as uncirculated, meaning it never entered regular circulation. However, it shows rusty toning and very fine surface scratches. These fine scratches are typically the result of contact marks during minting and storage. When coins are stored in bags and rub against one another, they are not heavy circulation damage, but minor imperfections that can appear even on mint state coins. The slight rusty appearance usually refers to natural toning or environmental reaction on the copper surface. In some cases, this toning can actually add character and uniqueness to the coin, depending on how it presents visually. Even with minor surface marks and light toning, what truly matters is the overall preservation. An uncirculated 1968 large date 1 cent should retain clear detail in the Queen's hair, sharp lettering around the rim, and strong definition in the maple leaves on the reverse. The luster, even if partially subdued by toning, should still be visible under proper lighting. Collectors carefully evaluate the coin's color, whether it remains red, red-brown, or brown. Fully red examples are the most desirable and command the highest premiums. Now let's talk about value. How can a small 1 cent coin dated 1968 be worth around $300,000 in today's auction market? The answer lies in top population rarity and collector competition. In the highest certified mint state grades, only a tiny number of examples may exist. When a coin becomes one of the finest known examples graded by major certification services, registry set collectors compete aggressively to secure it. These collectors aim to build the highest ranked sets, and they are willing to spend remarkable amounts of money to obtain the best available specimen. Auction dynamics also play a major role. When a top-grade 1968 large date cent appears in a major numismatic sale, bidders examine every microscopic detail. Strike sharpness, surface preservation, eye appeal, and color quality are all considered. If the coin is graded at the very top of the population report, bidding can escalate quickly as multiple advanced collectors attempt to outbid each other. This competitive environment can push the final hammer price toward the $300,000 level, especially if the coin is recognized as finest known or nearly unique in its grade. Another factor increasing demand is the discontinuation of the Canadian penny in 2012. Since production stopped, collectors have shown renewed interest in earlier dates and high-grade examples. Over time, fewer pristine coins remain, as many were mishandled, cleaned, or improperly stored. That makes true uncirculated survivors from 1968 increasingly scarce. This story teaches an important lesson. Even coins that seem common can hold exceptional value under the right conditions. A 1968 Elizabeth II Canadian 1 cent with a large date, no mint mark, preserved in uncirculated condition with only fine mint-made scratches and natural toning, can transform from everyday pocket change into a headline-making auction rarity. Top 3. The 2015 Elizabeth II 1 penny large date with no mint mark. At first glance, this coin looks like an ordinary bronze penny that many people have seen in everyday change. But under the right conditions, in top uncirculated grade with exceptional preservation, this small coin has reached an astonishing auction value of around $350,000. The obverse of the 2015 1 penny features the portrait of Elizabeth II. The portrait used during this period was created by Jody Clark, showing a mature and dignified image of the Queen wearing the royal diamond diadem. Around the portrait you will see the inscription Elizabeth II DG Reg AD, which stands for Dei Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, meaning Queen by the grace of God, defender of the faith. The design reflects tradition, stability, and continuity within British coinage. On the reverse, the coin displays a segment of the Royal Shield design, introduced in 2008. When all denominations from 1 penny to 50 pence are placed together, they form the complete Royal Shield. The 1 penny specifically features the lower portion of the shield, representing England with its iconic heraldic elements. At the bottom of the reverse appears the date 2015, and in this case, collectors focus closely on the large date variety. The numerals appear slightly bolder and more pronounced compared to standard strikes, making this variation particularly desirable. This coin was produced by the Royal Mint, and like most modern British pennies, it does not carry a mint mark. Millions of pennies were struck in 2015, so the date itself is not rare in circulated grades. However, what transforms this piece into a six-figure rarity is the combination of large date variety, top certified uncirculated condition, and exceptional scarcity in the highest mint state levels. The example we are discussing is described as uncirculated, meaning it never entered circulation and retains its original mint luster. Even though it shows very fine scratches, these are generally minor contact marks that occurred during the minting and bagging process. When coins are struck in large quantities, they are stored together in metal containers or bags, causing light friction between surfaces. These fine scratches are often called bag marks and are common even on mint state coins. They do not automatically reduce the coin from uncirculated status if no wherefrom circulation is present. In evaluating such a coin, collectors look carefully at the sharpness of the strike. The details in the Queen's portrait must remain crisp, especially in the hair strands and facial features. On the reverse, the lines of the royal shield must appear clean and well-defined. Original mint luster should still flow across the surface when tilted under light. Color also plays a major role. A 2015 penny typically has a bright copper-plated steel appearance. If preserved properly, it maintains a rich, glossy red tone. Any fading, spotting, or heavy discoloration can significantly affect value. So, how does a modern 1 penny reach a value near $350,000? The answer lies in top population rarity and intense registry competition. In the highest certified grades, sometimes only 1 or 2 examples exist worldwide. When a coin becomes the finest known specimen, advanced collectors competing to build the highest-ranking sets are willing to pay extraordinary premiums. The difference between 1 grade point can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars in value at the top of the market. Auction environments further increase excitement. When a finest-known 2015 large date penny appears in a major sale, bidders study high-resolution images, grading reports, and certification details. If the coin stands alone at the top of the population chart, competitive bidding can quickly escalate. Wealthy collectors understand that opportunities to purchase the absolute best example may not come again for many years. Another factor contributing to high value is the modern collecting trend. Many collectors today focus on ultra-high-grade modern coins because they combine historical continuity with extreme condition rarity. While billions of pennies have been struck over decades, very few survive in flawless or near-flawless condition. Modern coins are often mishandled, spent, or stored carelessly, reducing the number of pristine survivors. This remarkable 2015 Elizabeth II 1 penny large date, with no mint mark, preserved in uncirculated condition with only very fine mint-made scratches, represents the perfect combination of rarity, demand, and condition. In today's competitive auction market, such a coin can reach an estimated $350,000 when certified at the highest grade levels and recognized as one of the finest known examples. Top 4. The 2011 Elizabeth II 1 penny large date with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary copper-plated steel penny that many people have seen in their daily change. But in exceptional uncirculated condition, with the large date variety and top certified grade, this small coin has reached an astonishing auction value of around $350,000. The obverse of the 2011 1 penny features the portrait of Elizabeth II. This portrait was designed by Jody Clark and shows a mature and dignified image of the Queen wearing the royal diamond diadem. Around the portrait appears the inscription Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, which stands for Dei Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, meaning Queen by the grace of God, defender of the faith. The design reflects tradition, authority, and the long continuity of British coinage. On the reverse side, the coin displays part of the royal shield design. This shield concept was introduced in 2008 and spreads across the circulating denominations, forming a complete shield when all coins are placed together. The 1 penny carries the lower section of that shield, representing England's heraldic identity. At the bottom of the reverse is the date 2011, and collectors pay very close attention to the size and thickness of the numerals. The large date variety features slightly bolder, more prominent numbers compared to standard strikes, making it a key detail for specialists. The coin was produced by the Royal Mint, and like most modern British pennies, it does not carry a mint mark. Millions of 2011 pennies were struck for circulation, which means that in worn condition they are very common. However, condition changes everything. In numismatics, rarity is often defined not only by mintage numbers, but by how many examples survive in the highest possible grades. The example we are discussing is described as uncirculated. This means it has never been used in daily transactions and shows no actual wear from circulation. It still retains original mint luster, the bright reflective shine that flows across the surface when tilted under light. At the same time, it has very fine scratches. These are typically minor contact marks that occur during the minting and packaging process. When freshly struck coins are stored together in bulk containers, they lightly rub against one another, creating tiny surface lines known as bag marks. These do not automatically reduce the coin below mint state level, as long as no friction wear is visible on high points. When evaluating a high-value 2011 large date penny, collectors examine several critical factors. First is strike quality. The details in the queen's hair, facial features, and lettering must appear sharp and well-defined. On the reverse, the lines of the royal shield should be crisp, with no weakness in the central design. Second is surface preservation. Even very fine scratches must be minimal and not distract from overall eye appeal. Third is color. A well-preserved 2011 penny typically shows a rich red copper tone from its copper-plated steel composition. Coins that maintain full original red color are far more desirable than those that turn dull or spotted over time. Now the big question arises: how can a 2011 penny reach a value of $350,000 in today's auction market? The answer lies in top population rarity and registry competition. In the highest certified mint state grades, sometimes only 1 or 2 examples exist worldwide. When a coin is graded at the absolute top level by a major certification service and stands alone as the finest known, it becomes a trophy coin. Wealthy collectors competing to build the #1 ranked registry set will often pay extraordinary amounts to secure such a piece. Auction dynamics also play a powerful role. When a finest known 2011 large date penny appears in a major sale, collectors carefully analyze certification numbers, grading reports, and high-resolution photographs. If the coin is confirmed as unique in its grade, bidding can escalate rapidly. Each collector understands that another opportunity may not appear for many years, and this urgency can push the final hammer price toward the $350,000 level. Another factor increasing demand for modern pennies is the growing popularity of high-grade, contemporary coin collecting. Many collectors enjoy pursuing modern issues because they combine historical continuity with extreme condition rarity. While millions were produced, only a microscopic fraction survive in near-perfect condition. This 2011 Elizabeth II 1 penny large date, with no mint mark, preserved in uncirculated condition, with very fine mint-made scratches, represents how even modern pocket change can transform into a record-breaking auction treasure. It reminds us that condition, certification, and collector demand are the true drivers of value in today's market. Top 5. The 1996 Elizabeth II 1 penny large date, with no mint mark. At first glance, it appears to be an ordinary British penny from the late 20th century. However, in certain rare circumstances, and with the right combination of variety and condition, this small coin has reached an astonishing auction value of around $250,000. The obverse of the 1996 1 penny features the portrait of Elizabeth II. During this period, the portrait used on circulating coinage was designed by Raphael Maklauf. The image presents the Queen wearing the royal diadem, facing right, with a calm and dignified expression. Around the portrait appears the inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, meaning Queen by the grace of God, Defender of the Faith. This design was a familiar sight on British coins throughout the 1980s and 1990s. On the reverse, the 1996 penny displays the traditional crowned portcullis design. The portcullis, a historic symbol associated with the Palace of Westminster, represents strength and heritage. The word 1 penny is clearly inscribed, and the date 1996 appears below. In the case we are discussing, collectors focus on the large date variety. The numerals in 1996 appear slightly thicker and more prominent compared to other dies used that year. These subtle differences can significantly increase collector interest, especially when verified by specialists. This coin was produced by the Royal Mint and like most modern British pennies, it carries no mint mark. In circulated grades, 1996 pennies are very common. Millions were struck for everyday use, and most examples today show clear signs of wear. What makes this particular coin remarkable is not just the date, but the specific large date variety, combined with strong overall eye appeal despite being circulated. The example we are discussing is described as circulated with very fine scratches. Circulated condition means the coin has been used in everyday transactions and shows some wear on the highest points of the design. You may notice slight smoothing on the queen's hair and minor flattening on the portcullis details. Very fine scratches are visible across the surface, typically caused by contact with other coins over years of use. These scratches are part of the coin's journey and history. Even in circulated condition, value can increase dramatically if the coin remains well preserved. Collectors examine whether the major design elements are still clear and readable. The portrait should still show recognizable detail, and the lettering must remain bold and complete. On the reverse, the portcullis lines should be mostly intact, and the crown details should not be completely worn away. If the coin maintains strong detail for a circulated piece, and the large date variety is confirmed, it becomes far more desirable. Now comes the big question: how can a circulated 1996 penny reach $250,000 in today's auction market? The answer lies in extreme rarity of a confirmed large date variety in high-end circulated grade combined with market demand. In some cases, a die variation may have been produced in extremely small numbers before being corrected. If only a handful entered circulation and very few survived without heavy damage, the remaining examples become highly sought after. Auction records show that when a rare variety is authenticated and certified by a major grading service, collectors compete intensely. Even if the coin is circulated, the combination of rarity and historical significance can drive bidding to extraordinary levels. Registry collectors, variety specialists, and investors may all compete for ownership, pushing the final hammer price upward. Another factor influencing value is growing interest in modern British coin varieties. Over the past decade, collectors have paid closer attention to date sizes, die differences, and subtle production changes. What was once overlooked is now carefully studied, and rare variations command strong premiums. This 1996 Elizabeth, the second one-penny large date with no mint mark, circulated with very fine scratches, represents how rarity can outweigh condition when the variety is scarce enough. In today's competitive auction environment, such a coin can reach an estimated $250,000 if authenticated as an extremely rare large date example and preserved with strong remaining detail. The lesson for collectors and viewers is clear: never dismiss a circulated coin without examining it carefully. Look closely at the size and style of the numerals in the date. Compare it with known standard examples. Pay attention to preservation, even in used condition. Sometimes the value of a coin is not about perfection, but about rarity. Top 6. The 1988 Elizabeth, the second one-penny large date with no mint mark. At first glance, it seems like an ordinary British penny from the late 1980s, a coin that passed through countless hands in shops, markets, and everyday transactions. But under rare circumstances, even a circulated example in worn and scratched condition can reach an incredible auction value of around $250,000. The obverse of the 1988 one penny features the portrait of Elizabeth II. During this period, the portrait designed by Raphael Maklauf was used on British coinage. The Queen is shown facing right, wearing the royal diadem, with the surrounding inscription Elizabeth II, meaning Queen by the grace of God, Defender of the Faith. This design was widely recognized throughout the United Kingdom and appeared on circulating coins for many years. On the reverse side, the 1988 penny displays the traditional crowned portcullis design, a long-standing symbol associated with British heritage and the Palace of Westminster. The words 1 penny appear clearly above the design, and the date 1988 is positioned below. In this case, collectors pay special attention to the large date variety. The numerals in 1988 are slightly thicker and more prominent compared to standard strikes, making this variation highly desirable among specialists. The coin was struck by the Royal Mint, and like most British pennies of that era, it carries no mint mark. Millions were produced for general circulation, and most examples today are found in worn condition. What makes this particular coin exceptional is the confirmed large date variety, combined with extreme rarity in surviving examples. The piece we are discussing is described as circulated with visible scratches and overall bad condition. This means the coin has clearly been used in everyday commerce. The highest points of the design, such as the Queen's hair and the crown on the portcullis, may show significant wear. The surface likely contains numerous scratches from years of contact with other coins. There may be discoloration, dullness, and possibly small marks from environmental exposure. Normally, a penny in bad condition would not attract serious attention. However, rarity changes everything. If the large date variety was produced in extremely limited numbers due to a short production run or a die modification, then even heavily circulated examples become valuable. In some cases, only a handful of authentic large date pieces may exist today, and many could have been lost, damaged, or destroyed over time. Collectors who specialize in varieties understand that condition is only one part of value. Rarity and demand often play an even greater role. When a rare die variety is confirmed by experts and authenticated by a professional grading service, collectors compete to secure it, even if the coin is not in perfect shape. The key factor is authenticity and verified scarcity. In today's auction market, competitive bidding can dramatically increase final prices. If a 1988 large date penny is recognized as one of very few known examples, interest from advanced collectors, investors, and registry participants can push the value toward $250,000, even in circulated and scratched condition. The uniqueness of the variety may outweigh the visual imperfections. Another reason for growing demand is the increasing popularity of modern British coin collecting. Over the past decade, collectors have become more focused on die varieties, date sizes, and subtle production differences. What once went unnoticed is now carefully studied. As more collectors search for rare varieties, competition intensifies for the limited number available. This 1988 Elizabeth II 1 penny large date with no mint mark proves an important lesson. A coin does not always need to be flawless to be valuable. While pristine examples often command the highest premiums, extreme rarity can elevate even a worn coin to remarkable heights. Circulation scratches, surface marks, and overall bad condition do reduce visual appeal, but they cannot erase historical and numismatic significance. For viewers watching today, this story is a reminder to check old coins carefully. Examine the size and style of the date numerals. Compare them with standard examples. Do not immediately dismiss a worn penny as worthless. Sometimes, beneath scratches and signs of heavy use, there may be a rare variety waiting to be discovered.